It was a night of upsets and comebacks, but most of all, Saturday's UFC Fight Night was a showcase for a 38-year-old veteran who proved he's not done yet. Frankie Edgar pulled out a split decision win over Pedro Munhoz in his bantamweight debut. Should Edgar have dropped to bantamweight sooner as many suggested? Perhaps, but for now, the discussion is about who's next for Edgar and for the hard-luck loser Munhoz, whom some thought deserved the decision. Earlier in the evening, Shana Dobson scored the third biggest upset in UFC history with a second-round TKO of Mariya Agapova after entering the fight as a +850 betting underdog. Trevin Jones opened the night as a +425 underdog, and after getting dominated in the first round, his chance of winning seemed even more remote. But Jones turned in an incredible comeback to pull out the win. Which upset was more impressive? ESPN's panel of Ariel Helwani, Brett Okamoto, Marc Raimondi and Phil Murphy take a look at the winners, the losers and the up-and-comers. The only thing I kept thinking about while watching that fight was, Mark Henry was right. Mark Henry was oh, so right. Henry, Edgar's longtime boxing head coach, has been telling me and every other media member for years that Edgar should move down to 135. And this was before Edgar moved to 145. But Edgar was always hesitant for one reason or another. Heck, he would even get mad if you asked him about it later on in his career. Because he was asked so often about it. But guess what? Henry was right. This is without a doubt the best weight class for Edgar at this moment in his career, and I can't help but wonder where he'd be had he moved down earlier. Now, I should mention that I thought Munhoz won 48-47, but believe it or not, that feels like it's beside the point. Edgar was the story on Saturday night. He looked quick, sharp and tough. Did he get hit a lot? Yes. Very much. But for a guy who lost 3 of 4 coming into Saturday, including 2 TKO losses, Edgar proved he is still a player and, perhaps more importantly, can still take a punch. I feel for Munhoz because he fought valiantly, but them's the breaks. Edgar, with that jersey-sized chip on his shoulder, reminded everyone that he's not done yet. And that was pretty cool to see, considering the legend he is. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who'll say anything bad about Edgar. One of the sport's true good guys has one more act left in him, and I am curious to see how this plays out. Now, who do I have to talk to see Edgar fight Dominick Cruz next? How much fun would that be? Sean O'Malley would be the perfect opponent. Yes, technically O'Malley is ranked lower than Munhoz and is coming off a loss last week to Marlon Vera. Fine. But O'Malley is one of the hottest names in the division, someone many peg as a future star. A win for either man in an Edgar vs. O'Malley bout would be incredibly valuable. It would be a high-profile, fight night main event, no doubt.